Today's adventure begins in Hollywood, California, right here on Vine Street, on a very mellow Sunday morning as the recording of this, August 1st, 2021. And right in this very spot where I'm standing is where James Dean picked up his sports car and went on his final ride. Would have been parked right here. The building that once stood has been replaced, but as you can see, it appears as if the one here on the corner is either similar or the new one is in the same format as the original. From 1955, corner of La Mirada Ave, what I'm referring to is just past the car behind his, and the tow truck, well, the tow mechanism is that little corner building right there. Now an antique pawn shop. There also used to be the Ranch Market, which was over at the Office Depot on that side of the road. Sitting next to him was his mechanic. There was a group of four that were heading to Northern California, well, north up in California, to race a car, this car, number 130, the Spider. He just finished filming the movie Giant. Was not allowed to race the car during filming, and once that production wrapped up, decided to take the car out for a spin. Little did he know that would be the last time he would ever get behind the wheel. It all started right here. The car behind his, the station wagon, was driven by stuntman and photographer, so a lot of the last photographs of this day were taken from the station wagon of James. I believe this was also the same exact day as the other one I just showed. Once again, the car was parked right here on Vine Street. Originally, he was going to have the car towed, but opted to drive it. For whatever reason, he got behind the wheel, departing from this very spot with the Ranch Market, former Ranch Market over there, across the way. One other spot in LA before heading northbound. Now made it over to Sherman Oaks, and where this Whole Foods market is, used to be a gas station. Gas station has been bulldozed. Now there's a grocery store in its place. Welcome everyone. Adam the Woo here. Tagging along today is Natalie. You have never been to the James Dean last day spots either, have you?
No.
This is something I've wanted to do for a heck of a long time. Have been to Fairmount, Indiana, his hometown, as well as a few of the other filming location spots for some of his movies in passing, but never have done the drive. You're going to be going out into the desert, and you are holding a piece of paper that has the photograph of the former gas station that we were hoping it would be here so we could recreate this photo. But sad trombone moment, it is gone.
Yeah.
We will not be recreating any photo here of that. Some say this is the last, hard to say, but some say it's one of the last photos of James Dean ever taken.
It's one I'm most familiar with.
It's pretty popular. The thing is, he has a cigarette while pumping gas, which is something that is frowned upon. They always say it's frowned upon to do that, or say do not do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any truth behind that, but it's probably not a good idea to have a ignited cigarette at a gas.
There's that scene in Zoolander, so I think that's a good lesson.
Okay, makes sense. Whole Foods. Right up here was the gas pumps. Also, we were talking on the way over, a little bit of a Manson tie-in as well. Some say.
Some say, supposedly.
Supposedly the night of Sharon Tate, they cleaned up in, was it the restroom?
Restroom, yeah, and they filled up their car here before turning back.
Oh, they did supposedly fill, oh, before going back. Okay, so they went there, they didn't do it, came here. This is all hearsay. No one really knows for certain if it took place right here. I don't want to delve too deep into that because this is all about James Dean, but you know, you have to mention that because it's another historical LA, dark day in LA history, just like the last day of James Dean. So we're pretty much in the same spot right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's it. Probably was a couple of feet that way, towards the corner over there. So we're gonna go from here and we're just gonna hop in the car, rental car, start heading northbound to the spots. I'm inviting you to join me and Natalie.
Shall you?
Even across the way, some of the older buildings that were over there do not remain anymore. A new shopping center called Oak Ridge Plaza, which is right over there. And it was a little closer over to the corner, probably kind of over in that area. But you'll notice these are the same cars. That's the same station wagon from over in Hollywood when he picked up the 130 sports car here. And there is where it was going to be towed, but he opted to drive it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. He's got a little one right there in the mouth. And he has removed the long sleeve shirt that he had on earlier to be a little more comfortable. Classic James Dean. Casual. Very casual guy. The cross streets are Ventura and Tyrone. And there's a very retro looking Cadillac sign up there from a Cadillac dealership. This is looking the other way. So this eating area right here would have been about where, you know, entrance into Whole Foods is where it was. There it is. I'm also noticing this is like a mile off the 101. Possibly there were no other gas stations before this one. Current day, there's a couple up that way. They're a little closer to the freeway. I wonder why he chose this one. Never know. Next stop will be up past the Grapevine, about an hour from here. But I'm noticing there is a mural of James right here next to where the gas station was at this vintage clothing store. Check that out. It's just about 100 yards from where the gas station was. Gotta wonder if this clothing shop has any idea that the last gas station he stopped at, one of the last photos, was taken just a few feet from this etching. Took the 5 northbound and veered off onto the 99 freeway and have exited off of an access road and heading back towards LA for about a quarter of a mile, trying to find a pole here where James Dean got a ticket from an officer for going 10 miles over the speed limit. Right up here. On September 30th of 55, around 3:30 p.m., highway patrolman pulled him over right here next to this pole. From what I heard, there used to be like a little stand-up of James and some other items, but over time they have been removed. Also, the only reason I even know about this is Scott Michaels from Dearly Departed mentioned one time years ago he was out here and kind of showed this angle and didn't exactly pinpoint where it was. As you can see, very difficult to figure it out based on the exact, you know, every pole looks the same. But after watching his video from years ago, notice that across the way you can see a few power poles, and through this section, using some satellite view, matched up the power poles over there with this power pole, which has some lettering that has been placed on the side. I tried to figure out what this stands for. JDLD. Now, JD would be James Dean. Wouldn't you say that would be James Dean? Yeah. Any opinions on what the LD might stand for? It is not the initials of anyone else in his party, if you had to guess.
Yeah, first I was thinking his wife, because I don't know her name, but I'm not sure what LD is.
Yeah, I'm really drawing a blank on that, unless this has to do with someone else, but it would be a coincidence having the JD for James Dean there. However, you'll notice right here, very faintly and weather worn, there is an N there, an A there, an E, and a D, spelling out Dean right here on this power pole where he got the speeding ticket. And the speeding ticket is on record, and there are photos of it online. It was supposed to appear in court a few miles up in the next town down the way there, a couple weeks after he got the ticket. As we all know, he would not make it to court. This would be his final day. Right here next to the freeway on this little access road. Still trying to figure it out?
Yeah, still trying to.
JDLD. So if you're looking for this, it's power pole 2917, just off the 5 freeway on the 99, the Grapevine, as they call it. It's over in that direction. Now there are no documented photos, at least what I can find, of the traffic stop, even though the photographer and the stunt driver behind him in the station wagon, they also got a ticket as well. And what are we gonna do with this photo, the LA photo? Put it over there near the pole somewhere. I should have brought some either masking tape or duct tape or something. Could have taped it around. I wasn't really thinking it through. However, we should leave this here. There are a couple rocks. Maybe put some, got some, oh, what is that down there? That kind of works. That could work a little bit better. Stick it down in there. Doesn't rain a lot in this area, so it could last a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe press it down in there a little bit more.
That's as far as it goes.
As far as it's gonna go. Good strong wind going through here. Might end up, pulling this out of where it's kind of stanchioned into there. I think that'll work for a little while. Could also leave a photograph at a couple of the other spots as well. These are just, screen captures that I got when doing the research, just to give a little frame of reference for the video. I'm still really confused on what those other letters are, aren't you? There's a button up there? Oh, no way. Oh, there sure is. Yeah, good eye on that. I wouldn't even have noticed that. It's kind of facing the road. That is awesome. Look at that. That is so cool. It all weather worn out here. Whoever placed this here, good idea to kind of staple the word Dean in there. That's going to last a lot longer than my temporary photo here. Another, if you're looking for it too, it's also exit 3. And then you go up to that exit, and it's about a half a mile backtrack over to here. And we almost took that little rope down there, that blue rope, and tied it around. And Natalie went to grab it and said, I don't want to touch that anymore. Yeah, I changed my mind, I'm not touching that. So probably a good call. So we ended up wedging it. I think that works, totally. I think that works, yeah. I think that's good. A little homage to James Dean, where he got the... What if the traffic ticket ever got paid by someone else, or if they just tossed it out after the tragic end? Ah! You also notice that right over here, yeah, you're noticing a lot of things I didn't see. Okay, there we go. So that has his name. And then up here it says last something. Can't tell what that is, but it says last autograph, because he signed the ticket. He signed the traffic ticket. So that's what that is. You can barely see it. Someone has said last autograph. I do have a Sharpie in the car. We should inscribe something here, letting everyone else know what this spot is. This might be a little difficult to see as well, but that also says Dean inscribed on there. I don't want to write over what anyone else has inscribed, so I think I'm going to utilize this one right down here. Or I can put it right across the one that I stuck the paper in, where we kind of shoved the paper down in there. Okay, we'll move on to the next spot. The next spot would be probably, have to look it up, I think it's Blackwell Corner, which is where he stopped and some say he got an apple, a little snack. So maybe we could stop there and get a little snack. It's quite a bit of, it's a pretty long drive out here. We got a long way to go, so we got to stay nourished. Oh yeah, before moving on, wanted to show the notice to appear ticket as well, as inscribed up there with the date, Friday, September 30th, 1955. Driver's signature right down here. As stated, last autograph that he ever gave. Okay, moving on, about another hour to the next spot. Even the car title there, well, not title, but the 55 Porsche. It was a brand new car, 1955, and it was a 55 Porsche. And the officer's name there, Hunter was his last name. Whoa, there's a Porsche with a number on the side of it. What are the odds here at Blackwell's Corner? Wow. Now I cannot confirm that he fueled up here. Cannot get 100% confirmation on that. But did stop for a bite to eat, a little snack, before getting back on the road. I, however, did need fuel. And there is a possibility, even though it wasn't really documented, might have topped off the tank on the sports car as well. This place has changed a lot over the years. It has grown considerably from the little place it once was. But this was the last spot that he stood outside of the vehicle before the wreck, just down the ways a bit. And they have documented James right here. His Rebel Without a Cause outfit and pose right there, with the artist name down here in the corner. Back in August of 2011, I'm guessing is when this was placed here, 8/11. It's pretty tall. Probably like, there you go. There you go, yeah, it's that way. Well, how tall are you?
5'5".
You're 5'5", so this is probably at least, there you go. This is at least 20 feet, maybe 25 feet. So take you 5'5", 1, 2, 3, 4 of you.
Wow.
So at least 20 feet tall. And inside, I believe, I've never been inside here before, but I've seen some photos online. There is some memorabilia inside. There's also another James Dean head down there at the end. You can go check that out too. Also interesting that there is a truck pulling another sports car with a number on the side, pulling into the gas station as well, just like James Dean would have done, except he chose to drive his. And after stepping inside, I could safely say they really themed the place out with a lot of photographs, a little bit of history, some merchandise, a lot of photos on the wall from the 3 films. It's amazing to think about that. He was only in 3 feature films, yet has become quite an iconic movie star in the grand scheme of things. I was kind of noticing inside the photograph, well, we were both kind of noticing. You said he was, what was the terminology about removing the cigarette?
Oh, he was Walt Disney.
He was Walt Disney, which anyone that knows anything about Walt, he was a smoker, and the whole 2-finger point, people will say they're doing that not to offend anyone, but in reality, they photoshopped out Walt's cigarettes.
That's crazy.
And they've done the same thing with over there, the Rebel Without a Cause on the far end. They have removed the cigarette, so it just looks like he's pointing like this.
Come get gas.
Just come get some gas. Come over and get some gas. So that's now you've been Disneyed if you remove a cigarette from the fingers. And Mr. Dean also, he has been as well. I think on the back side of this there's like a little placard which gives a little information also. After putting the coordinates into the maps, 26.5 miles is the distance from his last stop to his end. 26.5 miles. So what'd you end up getting?
Roasted salted cashews.
Roasted salted cashews. Oh, and on the front of it, so a lot of the items in there had all this in the little, I guess you'd call this the label there of Blackwell's. All right, a little snack for the 26-mile commute to the next spot. Pulled over to the side of the road exactly 2 miles from the crossroads. And this would be the final descent. This is a seriously busy intersection now. Ooh. Nice. Now where the crash happened was a little farther up near that blinking light where everyone is waiting to turn left to go towards Fresno. He was coming down the hill you see straight ahead. Lots of signage up now, not only the blinking light, but this do not enter wrong way from this direction. So this is all newer since 1955, right in here. The impact is about 100 yards that way. However, this has become the makeshift memorial right over here. When in fact, from what I've read, it was a little bit up that way before the road was redone. Just a few feet though. It's a radiator here with some cigarette butts in it. It's very windy. I apologize for the wind. It is very gusty out here on the open plains. Quite a few bouquets of flowers. Some Some sunglasses, cigarette packs, got some Camels and Marlboros down there. Oh, even an apple down there. And looking at this diagram shows exactly where Dean was in the sports car going down that very hill, which at the time was Highway 466. So as he was cruising down the hill, it is speculated that he was not speeding, but as I was going down the hill, it's very easy to not really tell how fast you're going because you get the descension, so you're moving very quickly. Once I got over here, Turnip Seed was the last name of the guy that hit him approaching the intersection. They crashed right there at the center point, at the fork in the road, which is right over there. Unlike where it has been, you see how busy it is, how the new road here has been fixed. So the impact happened right there. And the car, James Dean's car, after it was hit and the impact, went over to the side, and those photos of his car next to the telephone pole, or the power pole, according to my assumption, would have been right there, right about there as well. And Turnip Seed's car sat right in the middle of the road, right at the cross streets, until the ambulance arrived right over there. Now, as you can tell with the wreckage here, you see the mountain range in the back, the hills in the back, and you can see the road that goes over to Fresno, which is where the cross streets of where the intersection was, where the impact took place. You could kind of match up. You could see the road there below the hills. That would be right over there. So that's the photo they took looking from this angle. So yeah, just about another 100 yards down that way. So just imagine where all those cars are turning and that light is. Just about in here. Like I said, all just my own assumptions and speculation. But since they've redone the road, it's a lot safer to have the monument, the makeshift memorial over here. Wow. The end of a legend, right here. And then Turnip Seed's car would have been in the middle of the road there. You can see kind of the mountain range and the hills behind him. Power poles have changed, and that light. Boy, it is very, very busy, but that's the angle there. This is a very busy and pretty dangerous intersection, to be honest. Just about a mile up the way is Jack Ranch Cafe, which is where the cars were brought after the wreck. There is this tribute here. February 1931 is when he was born. September 30th at 5:59 p.m. according to this metal object here wrapped around the tree. 1955. This is passing. Oh, I believe over here too, there's some inscriptions. This walkway. Oh yeah, very hard to read. His name was James Byron Dean. He was an actor. Just before sundown on September 30th, when his Porsche collided with another car in the fork of the road, not 900 yards east of this tree, long known as the Tree of Heaven. Well, that is very difficult to read. It's kind of sun-bleached out there. This little monument was placed here on the anniversary, September 30th, same day, but of 1977. Just realized that the cafe, the Jack Ranch Cafe, closes at 1 p.m. so they are closed. Was not able to get a meal. However, did let us go inside, walk around, just check out some of the items that are not only on the walls, but you know, the photographs, a little bit of information above the booths, and also merchandise that is for sale, and mugs, t-shirts, pictures, things like that, postcards and whatnot. That's going to do it for today. I should also mention Paso Robles, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Is that how you pronounce the town? Paso Robles? About a half hour from here is the hospital he was taken to. Ambulance driver said that he passed away en route. Again, all speculation whether it happened at the scene or en route. And he stayed in that town for 3 days until his body was taken back to Fairmount, Indiana for the funeral. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. The vlog is over.